Dennis James throws the green, and we're underway with the O'Reilly 400K.
Crawford's holding him tight through 1 and 2 there, Dorsey.
Yeah, he's got him pinched down. We can't really do anything right now. He wants to slide in, and he knows if he doesn't pinch him down, he'll get run over by the inside lane.
These brands are running a different rear spoiler angle than they had at Charlotte. They're stuck to a rule this week, so everybody right now is fighting for clean air because these things are so air dependent.
And that was close right there. Bobby Hamilton sliding up into Rick Crawford as it went through 3 and 4, and now coming through the quad oval.
Bobby Hamilton got really loose on the bottom. He was pinched down there. Crawford hadn't pinched on the bottom. He got a big old wet wiggle, which could have, in the front of that pack of trucks, caused a disaster.
That's what we talked about in the open. The IRL cars have been out there. They don't know what kind of racetrack they got. Different compound of rubber. See Ted Musgrave right now. He's kind of fading back.
And guys, early on in this one, a real tough start for the number 49 of Shauna Robinson. They got black flag for jumping the start.
So that's not a good start to the Dream Team.
They'll have to do a stop and go, and so the 49 comes down pit road right now, and she's got to be careful of not going too fast on pit road too, because that just adds to insult to injury.
Stopping another time.
First gear.
There's a penalty, stop and go. Now she'll get back on again. Now you get mad as a driver. You 4,300 in first gear. What that is the pit lane speed limit.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. If these girls make a stop quicker than that, we've seen something tonight.
For sure.
She's not going to stay in the lead lap here. She has to maintain pit road speed, and that's very difficult to do when you're frustrated.
I tell you what, after that little wiggle down there, Bobby Hamilton said, oh, no, I'm not going to play that game this early. He let Rick Crawford go. So now we got a Ford leading overall, and these Dodgers are just riding. Then we got a Chevrolet, Travis Kvapil, up into third. So that's a good move already.
Look up front for the lead here.
Rick Crawford had been leading this race, and he has led the most laps of any of the drivers that are currently here right now. Coming into this race, he had led 96 laps on this track, and now Bobby Hamilton back out in front. Bobby Hamilton leading the first lap, and then Rick Crawford taking over. Now Bobby Hamilton moving back out in front.
And you look at the kind of yellow color, that's 50 of John Wood. That's Jack Roush's Ford. So now you got 2 Fords up in there. You got every make up there right now. Oh,
you got Travis Crawford bumping. I think he got in the back of Crawford off turn 2 over there. Made Crawford get out of the fuel now and going 3 wide into turn 3. Somebody's got to get him.
That could have been really big. He did get in the quarter panel and loosen him up.
Moving up, though, John Wood in the number 50. Robert Presley in the 59. They're trying to move as well up with John Wood.
We might get a look at that move again. I think he bumped him.
He did bump him. Or if he did, he took it right there. Look at him. Bump right there. Yep.
Oh, man.
Now that could have caused the big one we talked about on super speedway. This is like a super speedway.
And you see Leffler tucking right in there underneath.
And John Wood
as well.
And Leffler being patient here, got out of the gas. John Wood took advantage of that, but it's time to be patient. We're on lap 5.
Hey, you think Crawford's anything like Jimmy Spencer, never forgets?
He never forgets.
Well, this one's not over. I guarantee you that much.
Bobby Hamilton out in front. Travis Kvapil and the number 16 right behind him. And Travis Kvapil has a win on this track.
Tell you what, that truck looks fast.
It does look fast, and I think Travis is real happy with it because he's being awful aggressive, pushing everybody out of his way and getting up to the front like he's done.
And Dorsey, tell the people at home, what was Bobby Hamilton waiting on? Air pressure to come up where the truck felt safe enough to really get after it?
It takes a couple laps for these tires to get up. But, hey, Ray, you know about that?
Well, yeah, guys, they are talking a little bit about air pressure here, but keep in mind this truck that Travis Kvapil is driving tonight is a brand new chassis. This is chassis number 35, but they did test it here at Texas. So Travis said the day they tested here, they ran 125 laps. He said this thing was dialed in good. They're happy with it, and it shows right now as he's hanging right there tough with Hamilton.
Bobby Hamilton sits out in front as we have completed 8 of the 167 laps here at Texas Motor Speedway. As the O'Reilly 400K is underway. 167 laps is what will be going here. We have 155 to go, so you're going to see quite a bit of racing action here on Speed Channel. And out in front is Bobby Hamilton, but a good battle about to begin here between the 16 of Travis Kvapil and the 50 of John Wood. John Wood has been really strong.
John's really strong. Remember, he's racing for a sponsor. He needs a sponsor on that Jack Roush truck, and his improved so much. Good finish last week. He actually went up and bumped the back of Kvapil before. Now he's taking it a little easy. I don't think he did it on purpose.
They're getting bunched up on the backstretch, and John Wood 9th in points with no sponsor, guys, but 2 tremendous runs here last week, and he's trying to make a move on Kvapil, and oh, let's see what this is right here.
Uh-oh.
That looks like a tailpipe dragging. Looks like maybe the bolt has broken. The thing's dragging the racetrack, Dorsey.
Yeah, it could be the whole tailpipe, because that's not coming out of the exhaust pipe, or there'd
No.
be some fluid by now.
Something's dragging. There'll be
It's a big mess.
I'm sure they're watching that, monitoring it. But
That's
Yeah, there it is again.
Stan Boyd in the 07, and you can see the tailpipe there
Right.
as it is just in front of that left rear tire.
Yeah,
if
that's
they
not
fall off and he runs over them, boys, that's going to be big.
Yeah, and that all those metal shavings are getting on that real hot, sticky Goodyear back there right now, and that's not good either.
How far will NASCAR go to let him stay out there before they black flag and make him fix it?
Not very far, but they can't see the inside. These guys are up here in the booth with us. I'm sure they have people down there that might see it
Well, wait a minute, Barry. These guys watch us, don't they?
on speed.
Yeah.
The spotters up on top can see it because it's getting dark, and that thing's like a sparkler down there, and they won't let them run too long.
Talk about speed, we got it up front. We got a good race. Everybody being patient, and I think that's what you have to do here. This place is ultra fast. You talk about almost a super speedway. It is a super speedway. We're up in the range of 180, 190 mile an hour going off in these corners. It's very, very smooth. Here's your battle for 4th right here. Jason Leffler taking his time. DW's going to be happy when it gets dark. You know why? Robert Presley, he's got flames.
Robert Presley in the 9 just in front of Jason Leffler in the Team ASE Car Quest Dodge.
3090, you and the leader.
30-90, you hear Dennis Conner giving out lap times very fast, and they'll get faster.
And if
Hey,
you
look here, guys.
remember-
Here
Oh.
comes Wood. He got up underneath Kvapil, and he's going to make that stick. That's a good pass. Look at the traffic in front of him, though. That's going to be a big issue right here. Watch this.
Oh me.
Kvapil
Watch
able
this.
to get back on the outside of him.
Boy, give him some room now. Come on. There's Tina Gordon in 31. They're going around the outside of her.
Man, we need a traffic cop down there right now.
That's at that speed, folks. I'm telling you, that's close racing. 180 mile an hour to that corner.
John Wood looked like he had a great run on Travis Kvapil there, but lap traffic coming into play as he had to back off.
He did, and the Chevrolets have had a problem this week, they say, of a tight condition as the fuel load runs off. We're almost to lap 20, so we're looking at a third of a run, so they burned off 7 gallons of fuel, and we'll see if Travis tends to get tighter and tighter, and if he does, John Wood, in fact, is going to get up under him and get a run.
Barry, while you were saying that, I was just watching Travis Kvapil in the 16 truck. He drove it all the way down onto the apron, and sparks came out from underneath it, meaning he banged his pipe on the bottom on the apron there. So he's trying the best he can.
Bill, what's going on?
Talked to Ray Stonkus a moment ago, and I said, why have you guys fallen back? Rick Crawford started 2nd. He's back to 7th now. He said, we're a little tight in the center. We really fought that in happy hour. We made some changes, thought we would make it better. But right now, it's a little bit center, a little bit tight in the center and off the corner. Also, the 99 of Carl Edwards is complaining about being loose in the center of the corner. Terry Cook started out complaining about being loose in the center of the corner. Now he said it's loose everywhere. So these guys are really scrambling early on in the run to try to get these trucks handling.
Now, I talked to Carl Edwards just earlier, right before the start of the race, and he told me his truck has been really loose until he burns fuel off, Barry. He said once he burns off about half a tank of fuel, he goes really nice. He said it's really fast at the end of a run.
Well, and that's true, Dorsey. You're eliminating 154 pounds of fuel behind the rear axle, and all that weight transfers to the nose of the truck, and it makes it go into a push condition, which is when you go in a corner, you're having to really tug on the wheel to the left to keep it down on the racetrack.
Kind of wondered about starting a truck off in a race like this, and a race that's so fast with a loose condition. You don't want to be too loose.
Well, and here again, Dorsey, you don't want to be tight, and that's what these Chevrolets are talking about. At Lowe's Motor Speedway, they had the option. Every brand had an option. Ford, Chevrolet, and Dodge running between 55 and 65 degrees of spoiler. Not here, 65, so it's making a push condition except for the Dodges.
Let's take a look at how John Wood made that pass on Kvapil.
He just drove it down in there. I mean, a ton. Just gets right down underneath him, gets down in the corner. Now, Kvapil, we watched before. You know, like I said, he drove down on the apron, so he's got a handling issue for sure.
But what gave John the energy off the corner to pass in Dorsey? When that truck pushed the Travis Kvapil's, it bogs the motor down, and it also burns more fuel. A lot more fuel in a tight condition.
Bobby Hamilton sits out in front. John Wood right behind him, sitting in 2nd. His best finish ever on a super speedway is.
And now the number 2 truck of Jason Leffler, the guy that won a week ago at Dover, is in the pits. They have an engine problem. He said he still has oil pressure, but for some reason it feels like it's going to blow up. These guys are checking now to make sure all the plug wires are on and trying to find out what it is. We'll give you an update if we hear more.
Barry, how does it feel like it's going to blow up?
Well, Dorsey can tell you better than I can on that.
Well, what it does at first, when it starts to tighten up, you know you're running such an RPM in the straightaway. The next time you look,
We got to make laps.
it's 200 RPM less and it's 300 RPM less. And now this thing's dropping cylinders, and so they're looking for plug wires. You just heard him say, we got to make laps. You got to go back out there and get some more laps.
Yeah, and he's wondering right now what in the world is going on. Last week he did the monster mash. Tonight he was looking for the Texas two-step, and it looks like he might have lost an engine.
Guy who's had a lot of success right there, the 62 of Brendan Gaughan. He's moving up through the pack as he has done before many times, and he currently sits in 3rd position. Also, while we were at break, and Ray had mentioned that Robert Presley was having problems, let's take a listen to what took place when he came in.
This is them after they already decided that it's blown up. They were talking on the radio about the fact that they couldn't hear what he was saying. Robert said, things tightening up. I don't have any oil pressure. You want me to keep running until I blow it up? They didn't hear him. He blew it up.
Yeah, he said all the temperatures were pegged, and the oil pressure fell to 10 pounds because the other temperatures were so hot. Right now, we got Rich Bickle on pit road also. What's happening? We got early engine trouble. Lap 30, half a stop.
Let's head down to Phil, who's in the pits.
Yeah, Rich called in a while ago and said the thing was missing. He wasn't sure if the plug wire was off. Then he thought maybe there was a float stuck in the carburetor. Not exactly sure what's going on here. If we hear more, we'll let you know. Back upstairs.
Well, the number 50 of John Wood making his presence known here at Texas Motor Speedway. He takes over the number 1 spot in front of Bobby Hamilton.
A man with no sponsor on a Jack Roush truck just put it to him. I mean, just drove right on by. And that has been the fastest truck. No question about it.
Very fast, and Bobby's now moved up to the middle groove, which he's showing a tight situation. Now we got the 2 truck coming back on pit road. It may be over for Jim Smith, Ultra Motorsports CarQuest. He's coming back in right now.
That's not good. He'll probably take behind the wall. They already looked.
All the way down here on the end, Jason. See me waving?
Yeah, 10-4, I see you.
Oh, they're going to take it behind the wall, I think, because
You're going to have to
crew members
come
are waiting.
straight past us, and then we'll push you straight back. No room to make a U-turn.
Much quicker from where they're pitting. That's smart, even though they got a problem. Much quicker to get there from where their pit is than to go in the garage and take all the equipment in there and work on the truck.
What type of things will they try to work on right now?
Ignition box? Is it a distributor? Is it a burned spark plug wire? Is it a bad spark plug? There are many things that they'll look at.
Guys, what they think right now is that this is in the valve train somewhere. So what they want to do is they want to pull off the valve cover here and make sure that they don't have a valve that's stuck or broken. They're getting to it right now, and we'll give you updates as we know more.
Thank you, Ray.
And again, John Wood still out in front, the number 50. And Roush Racing has done kind of an interesting deal with he and Carl Edwards. They're going to maybe piggyback some sponsorship there for those 2 trucks.
That's a smart thing. I mean, with all the resources that the Roush Industries has, all the different teams, Winston Cup teams, Busch teams, truck teams he's got, they can borrow a little bit here and a little bit from there and keep these boys alive while they look for that big sponsor they so desperately need.
You know what? This kid's not just out front. He's pulling away.
Yeah, he's smoking. I told you, he's definitely the fastest truck on the racetrack.
He may be smoking. The 07 that he just went by is throwing sparks. And there are fireworks taking place here at Texas Motor Speedway. Here at Texas Motor Speedway. Tune into Speed tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern to see the Machines of ARCA in action live at Pocono Raceway. Defending series champion Frank Kimmel is looking for his 4th victory of the season, but not if Winston Cup regular Casey Mears has anything to say about it. ARCA at Pocono tomorrow afternoon at 1, live only on Speed. And great racing taking place here, guys. Moving up into second was the number 62 of Brendan Gaughan, and he's trying to reel in the 50 of John Wood.
Well, good luck. We heard John say, Dorsey, relate to the crew a while ago, I don't want to make any changes. And that's a good sign, being at 2/3 of a stop, that truck is still good.
The crew had called him and said, I want you to think about this now. Start thinking about it now. It's not time for a pit stop yet, but what do you want? He said, I don't want anything. Just leave this alone.
You see the Orleans Dodge there, number 62 currently sitting in second. Let's show you how he got to that position.
And he loves this place. Getting up behind Bobby Hamlin, we talked about a while ago. Bobby looked tight. He's tight right here, so he's slowing it down to keep it on the bottom. He knows Brendan's there.
Yeah, he knew he was there. One thing that when the thing's tight and won't turn, you can either move up or you got to slow the entry speed down. Now it's smarter for him to do slow the entry speed down and make Brendan go up around the top side of him.
Yeah, and Brendan has won the last 2 races here. He's trying to do the Texas 3-step.
I don't think you can see the guy he's got to beat, though. He's so far out in front.
He's coming. He is coming.
Yep.
Guys, he's running so well, and to make a pass on the outside like that, we had talked about how strong these Dodges are.
Well, that was a result more of the fact that Bobby Hamilton is so tight that he slowed down the center of the corner to make it not push, and Brendan read that perfectly, moved up a lane, and just rocketed by. But that'll get all changed at the pit stop because Bobby's real tight.
He's drawing a bead right now on John Wood.
And we had mentioned at the beginning of the show that Jack Sprague was the only driver in NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series history to win consecutive races 3 times at a track, and Brendan Gaughan looking to try to do that as well, as he currently sits in 2nd position. And we had talked about how he was reeling in John Wood. Last lap he was 1.21 seconds behind. This lap 0.89 seconds behind.
He's closing the gap even on a clearer racetrack here, and as they catch traffic, we're going to see experience here. Both these kids are young, but we're going to see who's best in traffic. And rumor has it these guys took this truck to College Station, Texas, the track we used to run, and tested it, and it was very, very fast. So that's what you call putting an emphasis on Texas.
Faster than they had been last year when they won both races here in Texas. 0.2 of a second faster, Brendan said.
Well, looking at John Wood in the 50 right there, he runs right on the bottom of the racetrack. Of course, he can't right now because he's making a pass, but he's been right on the white line of the racetrack.
Still inside. Hold your line.
And
Still there.
I don't think that's the fast way around because Brendan's up on top.
Still with you. Still there.
This kid's young. He needs to not worry about Brendan Gaughan, because if Brendan catches him, there's nothing he can do about it. He just needs to be patient right now, be smart, get what he can get, and right now he has an excellent chance of being tonight's winner.
Right. John Wood has not led that many races, particularly in this truck series, so it's new for him to do that. In the meantime, Brendan Gaughan has got the better truck. You're right, Barry. Look up in the rearview mirror. Here he comes. The spotter tells him, let him go.
Exactly. Don't race him. Brendan's caught him too quickly. Let him go. Try to learn from him. John doesn't want to get in that dirty air behind him and get that tight situation, but he may not have a choice. This Dodge is strong.
And prior to them getting up next to each other, Brendan Gaughan had been running a half a second faster than John Wood was, and so now Brendan probably just biding his time until he decides, okay, I'm going to take over this race and lead it.
You know what he's doing right now is he's sizing him up. He's looking at the John Wood truck and seeing where it's weak. He knows he's running right on the bottom, so he's going to make a move off, carry a lot of momentum and move off the corner and get up on top. You watch.
Yeah, we talked about the young kid John Wood getting excited. Think about what happened to Brendan last week at Dover. He was frustrated after being penalized in the pits. He got excited, had a big altercation on the front straightaway. Nobody's fault, just a result of being young and wanting to go. These kids are high-strung thoroughbreds. You got to keep a bridle on both of them, and I like it.
Yeah. Now, one thing that you see that's happened, and it happens quite a lot, Brendan was a lot faster. We saw how fast he reeled in John, but now he's not able to pass him. He's got up on him. His momentum's been broken, Barry. He needs to back off and get another run going.
John's got the clean air.
And so the battle for the top spot continues between John Wood and Brendan Gaughan. Gaughan, he is sitting out in front of the pack, and we'll show you how. John Wood on the inside in the number 50 there. Brendan Gaughan on the outside making the pass.
Well, I told you he was setting him up for that. He looked at it for a long time. He knew that John would be down there tight, and he just let it happen, and we heard the spotter.
We got a caution. Lap 53, we got a caution. Big break for a lot of guys. It's time to pit.
Very big break. We're coming up to the window, the pit window that was going to take place. And so the caution flag flies.
Don't know why the caution flag is flying yet. We haven't seen anything, but
Aaron Daniels made his way down pit road in the number 11.
May have been some fluid or something out of that truck. We're not sure right now, but what a huge break for people to make adjustments that did not get a tremendous amount of night practice.
You see, there's some debris out
looks
there.
like
there's everybody.
Debris there.
Jacques Debris.
Jacques Debris
is in Texas.
Yeah, he's everywhere, that guy. And that is on the racing line. There's no question. No, it's not. It's not on the flat.
Oh, that's okay. But it's leaving pit road. I shouldn't say that.
You know, these guys want to pit anyway in about 3 or 4 laps. They were due to come in. So this is a break that everybody will need.
Well, we had some people on the verge of going a lap down. That's how strong the 62 and the 50 were. And this is a tremendous break for them at lap 54.
Actually, there are 14 trucks still on the lead lap, and so they're the guys out front in Brendan Gaughan and John Wood and Bobby Hamilton, the guys setting the pace of this race, have been setting a blazing pace. They've been getting by people around this 1.5 mile quad oval.
It's going to be interesting to see if Musgrave can pick it back up. He fell back from the start, and he really has not made up any ground. So you look for adjustments on that truck. If he doesn't have a great pit stop, that's why it's going to take longer to get it tuned in.
Guys, you know now the race is a different race. This is going to be a race of the pit crews. And we got an all-girl pit crew, too, to look at.
Yeah, but they got to wait a lap before they come in. So we'll get a good look at them later.
Ahead of us in points. 10-4.
Let's head down to the pits and Phil.
Rick Crawford making his way in here. He's been a little bit tight center off since they started the race. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment. Take a little bit of air out of both front tires. Going to take a strip of tape off. Got Cal Beaupre on the right front. Change 4 tires and an air pressure adjustment. Now they're right.
Well, Phil, down on my end, they definitely want to do 4 tires. John Wood said his truck started to get tight there just towards the end of the run. These guys going pretty smooth so far. Dwight DuBois does the front, Bobby Clark on the rear. No problem with their pit stop. The fuel is in. The 50 is ready. Now the 62 is very tight with the number 1. He makes contact with Musgrave trying to get out of his pit. He slammed into the back of the Mopar Dodge. Musgrave will also leave pit road here, losing 2 or 3 spots, but he'll have damage on that right rear corner as Brendan Gaughan made contact.
Well, guys, this is the other race right here.
That's what I was talking about right there, the pit race.
And this is where they're won and lost. These guys do a tremendous job, and that's where the spotters don't have a great view. They're down here off turn 4. Here's another look at it.
Get ready. We're going to pick the hood up.
Tell us what's happening here, Dorsey.
I'll tell you what, folks, if you ever did it, these pit stops are so hard. You're trying to find your space and get in there, get all your stuff done. You're keying off the guy in front. He says, go, 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 right here. Boom. There's the first contact with Brendan Gaughan between John Wood there in the 50. Gets into that.
I think John Wood and Brendan Gaughan stayed away from each other, but you saw Ted Musgrave get pulled up underneath there. And here comes the dream team in Shauna Robinson.
Okay, here we go. It's what we've been waiting for right here.
Watch the girl on the jack. She's got a lot of work to do right there. She can barely get that thing up, you see? But she's got it.
These things are heavy, guys.
90 pounds of tire and wheel there, folks. That's not an easy thing to lug around.
The jack's about 33 pounds, but the cylinder in it to get the thing up pretty quickly is tremendously difficult to manipulate.
And most of these guys on the jack weigh 190, 200 pounds. That girl doesn't weigh probably about 130 something. She's working
girl.
hard.
Yeah, you got time to get 4 girls.
And we went with the 2.
They
went with 2. 25-second pit stop for the dream team, right?
Well, guys, down here in the 1 pit, believe it or not, another engine problem. Robert Presley is out with engine. The 2 is behind the wall, and now Ted Musgrave said he has lost a cylinder. So what these guys are doing is they're spraying brake clean on all of the headers to try to find out which cylinder is dead. The one that doesn't bubble is the one that's not as hot. So they're doing the spray right now to try to find it. If they do figure out which cylinder it is, they'll just pull that plug wire off and see if Musgrave can get back out. But a tough night so far for the Ultra team, as the 2 and the 1 have an engine trouble.
That's not a good sign. I mean, it happened at the end of the first stop, not very far, about not even 100 miles.
You know, I used to spit on my finger and touch the headers like that. Then I lost my fingerprint.
I bet you did.
I quit doing that.
Pretty catastrophic. The failure he had last week at Dover, that was big time, Dorsey.
That was a bottom end. Yeah,
Let's go.
he gutted the whole bottom of it. This is probably an upper end.
All right, which one are you working with?
And guys, this is not just bad for this one race. Ted Musgrave has already had 2 finishes in the upper 20s. He's already been above the top 20 with 2 finishes. If he has a 3rd, his title chances could go out the window.
And we're starting to get into the meat of the schedule. You know, got a week off, then we go to Memphis, and it really gets tough on these crews. Joey Arrington, engine builder, lost 1 last week, possibly 2 or 3 tonight.
We are under caution number 1 as everybody has been through the pits. Still out in front, it's Rick Crawford winning the race off pit road. Stops was the 14 of Rick Crawford. And Rick Crawford, actually his sponsor, the Circle Bar RV Park, they brought in a group of kids that the drivers got to meet and everything from a local children's hospital here. And one of those kids got a special gift from Brendan Gaughan, who's running very well. He got his cowboy hat that he had brought back here to Texas. And so it was a great gift that he was able to do. But that team, we were able to bring those kids in, 13 kids from the children's hospital and just a wonderful effort that these drivers do to try to involve the community. Hey, Ray, what's going on?
Well, Robert Presley was nice enough to hang out with us here while we had that round of pit stops. Man, I'll tell you what, you cannot get any luck. Tell us what happened tonight. Why are you out?
Well, thing just got a little bit hot. I tell you what, this Jim Harris Dodge and the Petty Boys motor thing was just real good last night and real good tonight. Same truck we had at Charlotte, but you know we got to finish these races before we got a shot at the win. But heck, at least things running good every week.
Okay, thanks for stopping by. Last year he was 6th and 7th here at Texas, but tonight he's out of the race.
We're getting ready to rock and roll here. Robert's had a tough break. A lot of races this year. See the boys there from Circle Bar.
We're going to see what changes they made and how good these trucks are. It's a whole new truck now, truck race, whole new one.
Got other Roush trucks in the picture, Dorsey.
Yes, it is. Both of them up there again.
Mike Dolan has already brought the pace truck onto pit road. Rick Crawford sets the pace. The green flag flies, and we're back to racing.
What a restart. Tremendous restart for Rick Crawford.
Did you see him jump on that thing? I mean, he got a good 2 truck length lead just as soon as he got on that throttle. Now Brendan Gaughan trying to zero in on him. Johnny Wood.
Again, Gaughan had been so fast prior to that break, and Gaughan was out in front when the caution came out. Rick Crawford won the race off of pit road, but it just seems like it's going to be a matter of time before Brendan Gaughan gets in there.
Yeah. Rick had a good stop, not taking anything away from him, but he was the beneficiary of the mistakes, the other guys running into each other and having that sort of bad luck. We can see if he stays out front. He's got the clean air now that everybody wants. We talked about the Dodges maybe being dominant tonight, but you can't do it from behind the wall.
There's David Starway in the 75. We haven't talked a lot about him. That's Travis Kloppel in another Chevrolet. Those guys racing for 6th place, so they had good pit stops.
Yeah, I'm sure Dave Fuge and the guys worked on that with Brendan Gaughan. Look at that, just blazed right by. But look, coming back. Look, hey, like Minnie Pearl, he ain't through playing yet.
Look at that. That was a power play, and John Wood said no.
Here by Fender. Still out there.
Bobby Hamilton's up in that mix, right behind that Carl Edwards for the first time today into the top 5.
You
Side by side
look for
racing.
him to get in it.
Sorry about that, Barry. Side-by-side racing right here. The top 5 trucks all within about a half a second of each other.
Riding with Carl Edwards, you see the draft. You see the pull he got coming off that corner as he just sucked right up on the back of Bobby Hamilton's Dodge right there.
Now, it took Bobby a while to get going on the initial start. If that's the case here, he's still right there in 3rd, a very strong 3rd. But if his truck comes in like it did a while ago, look for him to move up and challenge to the lead.
Look at this, John Wood running the bottom line again. Now he's pinching the truck down, using a lot more tire than Brendan Gaughan. Brendan Gaughan's up on the top side, running a little bit freer, Barry.
Easy, Carl.
Still there.
We're on board with Carl Edwards. What's happening with him, Bill?
Well, Rick, Carl was complaining about the truck being a little bit free when they started, but the truck got better and better as time went on. So all they did was the air pressure out of all 4 tires just to get him a little bit overall grip. Came out in 5th place, got a great truck. This is the first racetrack he's been to that he's been to in the previous year. So this is the first racetrack that he's run this year that he's had experience on.
Folks out in front, this one is a nail biter.
You see it coming? I'm telling you, he needs to be patient. Let these guys go. You can't run that fast on the bottom.
You just heard right there.
Bobby Hamilton still out. He moved and made up the pass there. But another guy that's making a move is the Spears Manufacturing number 75 of David Starr.
Houston, Texas. Good patient kid. Good little race driver. Won at Vegas. Brendan won here.
We had talked about the differential between 1st and 5th was about a half a second. We have got the fast trucks bunched up in the front right now, and Bobby Hamilton leads the crew through into turns 3 and 4.
We got what we have every week in the Craftsman Truck Series. We have a tremendous race.
And you got tremendous makes race as well as you got a Dodge, a Ford, a couple Chevrolets, all in the top 5, so all of them there. Ray?
Guys, if we move back in the field just a little bit, you'll see the 18 Dickies Dodge there. That's Chad Chapin. On his first set of tires, he was really, really happy with this truck. He said, it is perfect. Let's not mess with it. So they didn't do anything except put 4 tires on it. And guess what? Now he's really, really loose. So he said this set of tires is not near as good as the ones he had on there. So Chapin just a little bit loose. He really wants to put on a good show tonight because the headquarters for Dickies is just a couple of miles down the road, and they got a lot of folks in the grandstands tonight. Chad running well, but he's a little bit loose on this set of tires.
Ray isn't kidding. There's 63,000 people in the grandstands here tonight. Bill?
You know, Ray, you talk about the 18 truck actually changing when they put another set of tires on. That's partially a product of not getting much practice. A lot of these guys will scuff their tires so they really know what they have. The tires vary so little, but sometimes there's just a little bit difference between sets. A lack of practice time did not allow them to really scuff many tires on, so when they put sticker tires on, sometimes they really don't know where they are.
And a great battle right here for fourth or third. John Wood on the inside, Brendan Gaughan on the outside. And you say, wait a minute, fourth and third, what happened to first and second? These guys were just in the same position battling for the lead earlier.
But Dorsey, that's Ford Chevy Dodge.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you got all three marks up there racing for each other. Look at John Wood still on bottom. Travis Kvapil being very patient. He's watching. He's going to see which one of these guys gets the better advantage.
Exactly. And Travis got tied about a third of the way through the first run. We'll have to see, is it aero or did they make the pivotal change to make him better?
Currently sitting in 11th position, it's Bill Lester in the number 8 Dodge as he looks up in front of him at the top 10. AMA Superbikes are in town this weekend to light up Road America, and Speed is there to cover it all. Race number 1 at the high-speed 4-mile road course begins tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, and they'll crank them up again at 3 p.m. on Sunday for race number 2. Live AMA Superbike action from Road America all weekend, exclusively on Speed. Bobby Hamilton continues to lead the O'Reilly 400K here at Texas Motor Speedway.
You know what happened? We were in break also. 15 truck behind the wall. We don't know if it's engine related or whatever. I'm sure the guys will get right on it.
Rich Bickle in the number 15 had problems a week ago at Dover and now behind the wall this week. Phil?
The guys in D told me that was a carburetor problem, so they're back behind the wall changing the carburetor. They should be able to get back out on the racetrack.
Okay, well, that could be worse.
It could be a lot worse. We've seen a lot worse.
With some good trucks already out, gained some points back. They lost to Dover.
You know, one thing we saw at the beginning of the opening of the show when they went to drivers start your engines was a tachometer, and that tachometer was reading 8,800 RPM. Now that's a lot of RPM to push these pushrod motors around here, Barry, and it's a nice cool night and they're making big power.
Oh, it is. As it gets cooler too tonight, you got to have that fuel mixture right. They make a lot of power, and that's why they burn that fuel. And we saw, well, people were getting ready to stop a little bit early the first stop because a lot of people had tight conditions. You want to get a good fuel reading there. The last thing you want to do is run out of fuel, mile-and-a-half racetrack. You'll be 3 laps down by the time you get in, get some gas in, and get back out. We do want to mention the 2 truck is back out there. We don't know what happened there, but Ray and Phil will be on that also. I figured they would be out for the night, but Jason is back out on the racetrack and fast.
Riding right now with Carl Edwards. That's the 5th and 6th battle right there.
And guys, clear. We talk about how this is this could end up being a fuel mileage race. We had a pit at lap 55. Now, can these guys make it on just one more pit stop? 167 laps?
Yeah, if it goes that way, we'll be okay. I think so.
And I'm not going to even say that we haven't had a caution yet, because you know if I did that, what
we have had a caution.
Oh, but not the bigger caution. Not that one. That was a debris. That was a French guy.
Needs to go back to France.
Bobby Hamilton with a half a second lead on Rick Crawford. Brendan Gaughan sits in 3rd. 4th is John Wood. 5th is the 16 of Travis Kvapil. 6th rookie Carl Edwards in the number 99. David Starr sits in 7th. 8th is the 18 of Chad Chapman. 9th is the 46 of Dennis Setzer. And rounding out the top 10, the 29 of Terry Cook.
You ask about could they make it if these men and women right here run 58, 60 laps right now, it's going to leave them about 52 to go. So if it were to go green, yes, they could make it. But it may be iffy for a couple trucks, depending on the setup.
And we found out that the race could be won on pit road.
Oh, certainly.
Or lost.
Bobby Hamilton out in front of this one here at Texas Motor Speedway. D Dodge out in front of this pack, and he's beginning to put some distance between himself and 2nd place. Let's take a look back through the top 10 as we drop down with Phil and Ray.
Well, Rick, I'll lead it off with Bobby Hamilton since he's our leader. Keep in mind that Hamilton has led every race so far this year. They didn't make very much of a change for him on this first pit stop. They just put one round of wedge in the right rear. Phil?
Ray, Rick Crawford started second here, running second currently, finished in the top 5 here both races last year, had a runner-up finish here in 2001.
Well, Phil, when we see Brendan Gaughan running in third, he's just a little bit tight, so they put some wedge in. His Orleans Dodge, he said it's a lot better right now. But one guy that's doing a lot of complaining is the 50. He says he has no grip right now. This is the same truck that they ran at Darlington. It's chassis number 28, and they ran it at Dover. John liked it a lot at Dover, but tonight he says this set of tires has no grip. Now, the 16 IWX Chevy of Travis Kvapil, he's been saying the same thing on the radio all weekend long. He said, guys, this thing is aero tight. They took 2 pounds out of the left side tires. He said it's a little bit better now, but he's tight when he's in traffic. Phil?
Ray, Carl Edwards was a little bit tight early. They made a chassis adjustment, an air pressure adjustment, and now he said he's developing a big-time push, currently running 6th. David Starr, the 75 truck, let air out of all 4 tires, actually made a track bar adjustment. 4 top 5 finishes in the last 4 races here for David Starr in the 75 truck. Ray?
Well, the 18 truck of Chad Chaffin has now moved into 7th. He said it's starting to come back to him a little bit, but remember, he was much looser on this set of tires. As they burn off the fuel a little bit, it's getting a little bit better for him. Chaffin now up to 7th. Phil?
Yeah, Dennis Setcher's back in 8th, Ray. He won back in 1999 on this racetrack. Danny Gill and the guys are working on that truck, trying to get a little bit better for Dennis. He said they could run flat out in practice, but he said he can't quite keep up with the Dodgers right now. Ray?
Phil, keep in mind that Terry Cook is one of the guys that's run here an awful lot, but he hasn't had a lot of success here at Texas. He's only been on the lead lap 2 times, and he's raced here 10 times. He's driving Deputy Dog tonight, and he said the thing is starting to come together a little bit for him. Cook is now into 10th place in his Power Stroke Diesel 4.
And Terry Cook has, they name those trucks after dogs, I think, all the time. There's 2 Dog and Deputy Dog and all that. But I want to touch back on one of the things that mentioned about Travis Kvapil, and he was talking about having an aero push and things. Now, they have changed the front ends of these Chevys, where they went from the 02 front end to the 03 front end and made some changes there. Could that be making some of the problems with the Chevys right now?
Well, it certainly is, and part of that was a styling issue. The other brands have 3 inches of kick out on the bottom valence. The part of the nose that's closest to the racetrack makes a tremendous amount of downforce. The Chevrolets only have 2. This goes back to what I touched on earlier. If they were able to go back and use the option of 55 to 65 degrees of rear spoiler, lay the spoiler back a little bit, that would pin the front end, and they would have a very, very better truck. Much better truck aerodynamically, but the rule from NASCAR here at Texas, first time here with these nose configurations, 65 degrees, and the Chevrolets are suffering.
Now, John Woods said this set of tires has got lack of overall grip. Now, what he's talking about is he's not talking about a tight condition or a loose condition. He's talking about a truck that's still pretty well balanced, but doesn't go very fast. In the middle of the corner, it just gets in there. It's probably a little tight in, a little loose off. It just doesn't have the grip, and that sometimes will happen with another set of tires.
Exactly, and what they'll probably do is drop the air pressure. We think Bobby Hamilton, those guys did it because we saw some sparks and stuff a while ago. But if you remember back, John said, I don't want to make any changes. Now he's wide open to dropping that air pressure, getting the attitude of the truck better, getting it closer to the ground.
In the meantime, talking about getting closer, right there is Rick Crawford getting real close to the back of Bobby Hamilton right there. And Brendan Gaughan putting pressure on from behind. So now we got a 3-truck battle for the lead right here.
You think he still got that cowboy hat on?
It blew off, I think.
Look at the tape, Dorsey, on the 14.
That's a lot of tape across the front end there. You see right there.
A lot. And you see it's on the left side, too. What a job drawing. It's on the left side. That creates downforce. That's what we're talking about, holding that attitude.
Outside.
Good spotter right there telling it, Rick.
He was letting him know that Brendan Gaughan was making the pass on the outside. And we've seen that out of Gaughan numerous times now. He is very comfortable running on the high side of the track. That has only got to be very positive for him to look at the three-peat.
Well, the one thing for sure we saw in the first round is that his truck stayed under him the best of all the trucks here. He didn't drop off. Everybody else got tight or got loose, but that truck right now, the 62 of Brendan Gaughan, is really very good.
He's got a truck in front. He's got a truck behind him. He's still very competitive. He can run where he wants to. It makes you think right now he's in the catbird seat.
And so your top three, Bobby Hamilton, Brendan Gaughan, and Rick Crawford, all running very well as they're turning just over 31-second laps. You see the smoke there. That is coming out of the back stretch in turn number 2, and we are under caution number 2. That's Randy Briggs in the number 53 that got into the wall pretty hard.
Cup tire.
Front left there.
CupTire.com, he needs a tire on the left front. He hit pretty good there.
Yeah, he did. And it looks like a single truck altercation. He's had a rough few weeks keeping that thing going straight.
We don't know if he cut a tire or whatever the situation, but he crashed up there in turn 2 and has continued on.
Let's take a look back at how that came about.
Down on the bottom, he's just real loose. He's all the way down on the apron, Barry. He got de-wedged, loses it, comes up, he's going to smack the wall.
Oh, trying to be a gentleman. He knew John Wood was coming. His spotter was telling him, just got too low. De-wedged the whole left side, all the weight transferred to the right, and it's buckle up, buttercup from there. You're hanging on.
Look behind him. Look at these guys behind him. That's a view you hate to see as a driver.
Oh,
crossed up truck right in front of you.
Is that Terry Cook?
Yep.
And that
Terry
was
Cook,
Starr.
Axiom Chevrolet.
Yeah, David Starr too got a whole face full of a side of a truck.
Dennis Setzer's in the Axiom Chevrolet. That was 46 of
Yeah,
Dennis.
but I tell you what, what was that, Deputy Dog? Was almost Droopy Dog right there.
It was almost Dead Dog.
And here they come down pit road. Again, let's go down to Phil.
Rick Crawford come in, and he actually took a rubber out of the left rear because his truck has been tight the whole time. He's going to make another slight air pressure adjustment. He said the truck is a lot better. Gator Morris with a jacket to get that thing up. Bobby Showalter's on the rear tire. Cal Bogran the front tire. Robbie Geis putting the gas in this thing. They had a great pit stop the first time. They're going to try to do it again. Toure.
62 of Brendan Gaughan is in. Keep in mind, the 2 times he won this race a year ago, he did only a 2-tire stop. This time, though, they got to go with 4. He said his truck is just too tight, so they're going 4. They're around to the left side. Now, when we look at Bobby Hamilton, Hamilton has said he's going to make a track bar adjustment. Just a little one, very small adjustment for Hamilton. Brendan Gaughan is ready to go away again, and one more time he gets stuck in behind the number 1 truck. Contact there, and he is going to roll back out, but Brendan had a quick stop but wasn't able to get out of his pits.
Oh, man.
That's not good.
And these are big pits. I was
going to say, what's the result of that? Is Ted Cook or is Ted Musgrave stopping soon, or is Brendan Gaughan getting too far into his box?
Well, we don't know. We're not down there, but it's difficult getting stopped. This is a pretty hard compound tire. Air pressure's built up. You hit the brakes.
Look at here.
And you skid. We got a little getting Christmas card.
Little conversation.
Yeah.
Give me your address and I'll give you mine.
Let me tell you, as a driver, when that happens, think about Brendan Gaughan. He just took the lead back over on his own merit. He's the fastest truck out there. To have a bad pit stop like that, to get blocked in, he's furious right now, I'm telling you.
Circle bar forward up front.
We've completed 101 laps here at Texas Motor Speedway. We're under caution number 2. Under caution number 2, Randy Briggs had some problems, and that brought about a big flurry of trucks heading into the pits for pit stops. And we take a look at the pit summary. Brendan Gaughan obviously having problems.
Had problems getting out, came back in. If you can call it taking advantage of a bad pit stop, he did come back in and top off with fuel. Right now we have a mileage race going on. We talked about this in the opening. It's going to be very, very close for some of these brands.
Let's try to talk to Carl Edwards. He had a great pit stop. Carl Edwards, Dorsey Schrader in the speed booth. You got me, bud?
Out and clear, Dorsey. Got you.
Hey, great job in the pits. They got you out second.
Yeah, and I trained Steve McCain, and the guys they've been working hard. I'm proud of them.
Hey, man, you're running yourself a real smart racer, staying out of trouble. Everything's looking good for you.
Yeah, we got in a little bit of a tangle over there and won. That was wild. All I saw was Jack Roush's big face right there in my front windshield. So we're toning it down. We're a little loose on the short run, trying to warm these tires up.
I've seen that same face before, man. Just hang on to that thing. Keep her going.
All right, Dorsey. Thank you.
See him tugging the wheel right there, trying to generate heat in the tires. Not so much get the pressure up, but get some heat in them.
Ray?
Well, guys, you documented that Brendan had come in, Brendan Gaughan, that is, in the 62, had come in on lap 100. They just came back at 103 to get fuel, and here's the reason why. Keep in mind, in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, we will finish under a green-white checkered. If there was any chance that there is a caution close to the end of this race, a lot of these guys that have stayed out now very well may run out of gas. So Shane Wilson said, since we got blocked in back there, let's come in and put fuel in it, guys, and make sure we can get to the finish in case there's a GWC.
GWC, by the way, green, white, checkered, which is famous here in NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Texas Motor Speedway. As you see the field, we're still under caution number 2. Rick Crawford out in front of rookie Carl Edwards. And again, we had talked about both of those trucks for Roush Racing without sponsorship. Carl Edwards and the number 50 of John Wood. And they've kind of got a deal. I think Roush Racing is doing the deal where if they can get a couple, a sponsor that will go on both trucks, they'll take advantage of that. We get back to green flag racing.
They're very both worthy of that. We're off here in turn 1. Now we got a fuel mileage race going on here, boys. We've got 93 miles to go. It's very, very close for some of the Dodge products. It might be very, very good for some of the Fords down the field.
Talked to Ray Stonkus just a moment ago. I said, can you make it all the way? He said, I don't know. He said, I'm going to need some caution laps. I said, will you come back in and top off and give up fuel, track position? He said, absolutely not. So they want some caution laps, but they don't want to come in and give up the track position.
Well, I talked to one Ford brand this afternoon. They said they could go over 60. Won't tell you who it is yet, but that's a good indication that if it goes green, we've got exactly what we touched on coming in here. We got a mileage issue. We got Chevy, Dodge, Ford. They all get different mileage.
You got a poker game, too. These guys playing out their hands now, each different ways.
Big hand of Texas poker.
Currently in 8th position, Bill Lester in the number 8 Dodge.
Haven't talked about Bill very much. You see right there.
31-16. That was a good run.
That's a real good number.
And we had talked about this being a fuel mileage race now. There have the best race, I guess, as far as fewest cautions at Texas Motor Speedway has been 3 cautions. And right now we've had 2. If we continue to stay under caution, guys like Terry Cook could have a very good finish here. And with more on Terry, Phil.
Rick Wren just told Terry Cook on the radio, we have enough fuel to go all the way, so do all you can do. The 29 looks good to the end on fuel. Back upstairs.
Power Stroke Diesel. That's the one I was talking about. I didn't want to tell you, but Terry Cook has moved up as the night's gone on. He wasn't very good at the start, but he's right there right now, although he's getting challenged for that position. Bobby Hamilton.
Yeah, Bobby Hamilton in the Square D Dodge, you know, putting the pressure on right now.
Takes that Square D machine, Dorsey, about 5 laps to get going, then he's gangbusters.
Yeah, and he gets to take what bides his time. You see the sparks coming up from underneath it until it gets the pressures up. Once he gets it where he wants to go, he had a track bar change last time. Now look, looking to the inside, Terry Cook.
Here we go.
Ray?
Well, guys, Hamilton restarted back there a ways. Now he's up to 4th, but his crew chief, Newt Moore, said to me, we got enough fuel to go to the end. I said, yeah, but what if we have a green-white checkers? He said, I didn't think about that.
Well, they will. In time, they will. And I like that about this series. It's very, very exciting. It happens so many times. I wish everybody had it. But we have exciting racing anyway here in the Craftsman Truck Series. And we had a great one here tonight.
That's a great battle going on right there. You can see Chad Chapin trying to work in. We haven't talked about Chad into Dickey's Dodge. Of course, Dickey's from right up the road here in Fort Worth, so he's got a lot of sponsors here at the racetrack.
We take a look here at the Square D Dodge of Bobby Hamilton, and he's been very smart this year as far as finishing up in front. He bides his time, he waits, he makes sure that everything's running well. He gets the truck set up just the way he wants it, and then moves right up to the front. He's only got 1 win, but he's got all the rest are top 10 finishes. And the guy who's had problems has been the Mopar Dodge of Ted Musgrave.
Yeah, we don't really know what's going on there, but the result, the product of Bobby Hamilton's performance is him being a veteran with a veteran crew chief, and that pays big dividends in this series, and that's what he's got, Newt Moore. Can't win championships having this kind of luck right here, can you, Dorsey?
No, you can't. You can hear that motor's off song a little bit. It sounds like it's not, you know, here it's just not crisp at all.
Man, it was was catastrophic in Dover. I mean, we saw that thing needed to depends under it. It was pouring all out.
You know, I tell you what, guys, Jim Smith may just say, I'm not going to take the Ultra Motorsports teams to Texas anymore. He has just not had any good luck here.
No, he hasn't. You know what? Somebody else we haven't talked about who's having a very good run tonight, had a tough day at Dover back in 10th, the Menards Chevrolet, Matt Crafton.
Right, and I was just saying Matt Crafton's mixed up in a really good battle back there, you know, with it's really about 4 different trucks that are really going after it. Right here, no, Carl Edwards in the 99 unsponsored Roush truck. Trying to get by the Ford of Rick Crawford.
There's your 88. Hard hit last week at Dover. He's sore. He's 11th right now. Lost a spot, but it's a pretty good kid. Needs a break.
And he actually got in an accident a week ago at Dover. Brought out a caution, but he's running very strong now in the number 88s. And so as you see the battle for the lead there, the number 14 of Rick Crawford, right behind him, the unsponsored number 99 of Carl Edwards. Berger is the truck there in the number 66 as he parked that truck on the inside of the track. And we are under caution number 3 here in Texas.
That takes the mileage issue out. A little bit of cosmetic damage there. Dorsey right front.
Yeah, he got up into the wall up there. We'll see it here and again. We'll take a look at what happened here. Working the bottom side of the racetrack. Got a little help there to 19. Ricky Saunders got into the back of him. Did a good job of locking it down. You see all the tires completely locked down. It's going to keep him from hitting that wall.
You folks at home don't realize how fast that is. I mean,
that was a good job of locking it down as soon as he knew he was in trouble.
They say lock it down, turn it left, it will spin itself to a stop. But it's so hard to do when you're trying to drive, isn't it?
And the other reason you do that is if the driver's behind you, it's predictable. If you got it locked down, it'll stay in the path that it's going, versus if you take your foot off that brake pedal, it'll start wandering around all over the place. You don't know how to dodge it. Now he's got 4 flat spotted tires, but other than that, he's got a good truck under him still.
Yes.
Prior to that happening, we had a change up front. Bobby Hamilton is your leader right now, and here's how it took place.
And a strong one. Takes him about that many laps to get going every session tonight, 5 or 6 laps. Here he comes like gangbusters. Looks like an instant replay.
The lap before that, he's got Carl Edwards, and he drags Carl Edwards with him right on by right by Rick Crawford.
And so Bobby Hamilton in the Square D Dodge sits back in front of this pack. Right behind him, Carl Edwards, the number 99. And now Rick Crawford comes into the pits. And
all
Phil
right,
Parsons.
10 away, babe. 10 away.
They said they were about 4 gallons short, so they got to come in and put some fuel in. They're a little bit loose with trucks right up behind them. Otherwise, the truck's pretty good. Going to put 4 gallons of fuel in it. Took a tear off the windshield. Rick Crawford, good to go.
All day. These things get the job done, I'm telling you. And they can't have them back either.
Randy Seals in the crew chief for the number 18 Dickies Dodge, helping us out there with mechanics wear.
There's the knee pad, very durable right there. You see that patch? That caused me a knee operation because back in my era, they just were coming with knee pads.
You know, speaking of your era, Mr. Dodson,
I knew it was
you just had a birthday. I wanted to wish you happy birthday. You hit the big, you said the cross flags. You went at the halfway point, right?
I'm at the halfway point. Went to dinner with my little granddaughter the other night, and it's just a number. I'm halfway there. Thank you very much.
You know what aggravated me, though, is I found out I'm the oldest man on the broadcast team.
Well, I mean, you don't look a day over 30.
I feel a day over there. How about you, Barry?
Oh, right here's the star.
That's not
the
you.
Star, right? We love. What'd that cost you?
That's not me.
That's
Rick Crawford.
What did that cost you?
That's Rick Crawford. Actually, though, I did borrow some of his autograph cards.
All right, we're back to it now. Strategy's out the window.
Green flag.
This is what we got. Green flag, Bobby Hamilton. Tire pressure's already up on this restart. He should be able to go on. Carl Edwards lurking right on the back bumper.
Right behind Carl Edwards, his teammate. Oh, look at these guys, full wide down there.
Oh.
Easy, boys.
And girls.
And girls. Well, got 2 girls right in the middle of all that.
Bill Lester giving us a look there as we go down the backstretch with that Dodge.
You get a feel for the speed right there. Watch this going off in turn 3.
A little bit of a bump here in turn number 3. Not to the extreme of the Lowe's Motor Speedway bumps, but just a little bit of a bump there.
Yeah, this one doesn't upset the truck like it does at Lowe's. Look here right now. We got a good battle going on. Carl Edwards trying to get underneath Bobby Hamilton, and he's trying to take his teammate with him. Now, 2 Fords, maybe they can run together, Barry.
This might be a tag team move right here.
I think it's here up to the inside. He's going to bring the 50 with him, I guarantee you.
He'll open the door. Bobby's patient. You got 2 kids excited here. They wanting to produce. They know they got to finish. You got a poised veteran behind him. Maybe he's wanting to see what he's got. Bobby's been in that situation before in dirty air and been able to get back front. So I think he's confident he can make the move when he needs to, but we'll have to see.
This is the second race that Carl Edwards has led. Now, if you remember back to the first one, it was the first race of the year. It was Daytona. He had problems. He wrecked while he was leading the race. Let's see if he's learned his lesson as he sits out in front of the pack.
What do you think the Cat in the Hat thinking now at Pocono? He's looking at both of his Roush trucks up there, 1, 2. You know what that also means, though? It means that if there's a problem, you can lose 2 instead of 1.
That's Jack's bedtime.
He's watching it. I guarantee he's watching it.
So Carl Edwards, his second lead at a super speedway. Out in front with his partner and teammate of John Wood in number 50. And let me tell you, I would think that this is advertising space that would be prime. 1 and 2 here at Texas Motor Speedway.
I'd get much better than that. The pair of Fords up there facing the field for the first time tonight.
Square D looking at him and seeing what he can do. And Carl's taking advantage of being out front.
Look back here, guys. 3 wide and bumping. You got the Dickies, Chad Chaplin in there. You got Dennis Setzer in his action.
Yeah, Brendan came in topped off now. He knows he's got to go. If he's going to make it 3 in a row, he can't mess around, and he won't mess around.
With just 39 laps to go, Brendan Gaughan, if he wants to three-peat here at Texas Motor Speedway, he's got to make the move.
How about this on the outside by himself? He's going to get tied off this corner here.
Oh,
look at that. What I tell you,
Chad Chaplin
3
on the
wide.
bottom. Oh, that's wiggly.
Man.
Look at this. Look at Crawford working the Ford on the bottom side. And it's wiggling all over the place.
Deputy Dog says, I'm out of here.
Brendan Gaughan, again, he's run up on the high side of this track all night. It seems like he feels more comfortable up there.
Where it appears. And that's a product of this speedway. It's very, very smooth, a lot of grip. Very good tire by Goodyear. Once again, look at him opening up here. He's opening up some space from the high groove. Watch him now. He'll move down.
Take a look at the speeds at the line. Carl Edwards, the fastest truck across the start-finish line there. And 1 through 4 is our 1 through 4. There, actually see David Starr, the 4th fastest time turn.
Yeah, and we're going to see Brendan. I think we're going to see his speed pick up right now because he has got through that traffic and he's making the move.
His last lap, just over 31 seconds flat. The guys in front of him were running about 30.5 seconds, and so he's got some time he's got to make up.
That's ugly, Dorsey, a white truck with nothing on it.
No, it just doesn't look right. And then the orange one, nothing on it right behind it, kind of yellow. Look at this right now. Rick Crawford to the underneath side again. Still working on the bottom line.
All right, we got the Orleans truck here. American Racing Wheels. Waterloo in the back. And Brendan, it's got clean racetrack.
3 wide off the bottom, Travis Kvapil. In the IWX Chevrolet underneath Crawford's Ford.
Racing for 5th. Racing for 5th right here. Chad Chaplin's got the preferred line of the year. Travis wanting to go. Let's go down to Phil Parsons.
I was talking to Doug Richard right before that last caution flag. Crew chief for Carl Edwards. I said, hey, how about, can you guys make it all the way? He said, yeah, we're really good on fuel. I said, how's the truck? He said, we're really just trying to be patient. That's when he was running second. Now, as you guys well know, he's leading. But remember, Doug Richard was the late Kenny Irwin's crew chief when he won a race here as a rookie. So Doug Richard has been to victory lane here at Texas and knows how to do it with a rookie. How about you, Ray?
Well, Phil, if you want to talk about winners, how about the crew chief on the number 50 for John Wood? This is John Monson. In 1997, he won with Ron Hornaday. In the year 2000, he won with Rick Corelli at Richmond. In the year 2002, he won with Dennis Setzer at Martinsville and with Mike Bliss at Kansas City. John Monson has gone to victory lane with 4 different drivers. He just said to John Wood on the radio a moment ago, he said, your truck is good enough. We're going to run right where we're at, and with about 8 to go, I'll give you the word, and you can make the move on your little teammate.
And Phil had mentioned about the rookies and having success here. Carl Edwards looking to be the third rookie to win here that's in this field. Travis Kvapil won here as a rookie. Brendan Gaughan won here as a rookie. And now Carl Edwards trying to add his name to that list.
He's certainly worthy of doing it. I've watched this kid all year long, and it's been my first opportunity. I didn't realize he had such the background that he does, but he is a talent, and he seems to be able, Dorsey, to adapt to whatever he's driving if it's not perfect.
What's been amazing is the fact that this is the first racetrack he's been to this year that he's ever driven on before. Every time he's gone to a racetrack, it's his first time there. And he's done almost, he's led, he's been up in the front. Now he's made a couple mistakes, but look at him. I mean, this is the real deal, Barry. This guy is getting the job done.
And the mistakes are, that's part of the yellow tape on the bumper. That's going to happen. If you're going to be competitive, you're going to make things happen. You're going to make some mistakes. But this kid learns from them.
You see the picture out there, John Wood drove it down on the apron, saw some spark fly off it. I think he's got a faster truck. The 50 looks to be the superior over the 99. Look at he's running in right now.
Might have gotten some of that air out.
Well, you heard his crew chief say, we're going to let you know when there's 8 to go. Then you make your move. You're riding right now. Doesn't look like he's riding to me.
And now we had talked about earlier the team racing and Roush Racing with the most wins in Craftsman Truck Series history. 28 wins for Roush Racing. Well, all of a sudden that got a little closer last week when you had Ted Musgrave had just won. Now you have Jason Leffler. They're closing the gap. Well, look at this. Roush Racing probably isn't liking that much. Now we've got 1 and 2 Roush Racing in Carl Edwards and John Wood.
I was in this position before with Jack, and he'd get on the radio to you, he'd say, you guys quit running so close, slow down. And if I was in the lead car, I said, you tell the other guy to slow down. I'm not slowing down nothing until he slows down.
You think he's really awake, Dorsey? It's getting late.
Pretty exciting. If I had 2 trucks in here with no sponsor and these young kids driving for me, I'd sure be awake. No doubt about it.
A lot of eyes are on these young kids. We saw that at Lowe's Motor Speedway. 2 tremendous talents.
As they cross the start-finish line, 29 laps remain. The teammates of Roush Racing out in front. Where we are in the race, John Wood and Brendan Gaughan battling there. Brendan Gaughan having troubles in the pits early, but strong on the racetrack, and again later having problems getting around the 1 of Ted Musgrave. Carl Edwards, narrowly missing the 53 of Randy Briggs, and Donnie Neurenberger getting spun around, bringing out caution number 3. That is how we are to the point where we are right now, and Carl Edwards still holding on to the #1 spot, but let me tell you, his teammate is not going to wait around for him. This was a pass they made earlier on a lapped car, or excuse me, truck, as Jerry Hill gets split coming out of turn number 4.
John Wood read that perfect. He drove down the apron on the 50, gets underneath. Now look at this, side by side, the 2 Roush trucks battle down the back straightaway.
All right, they're racing each other. They both need to win. They both want to prove a point. But guess who's sneaking in the picture? They've already moved up to 3rd.
That's the bad news. You're talking about Brendan Gaughan, the 62 Orleans Dodge, who had that bad pit stop, fell way back. Guess what? He's not way back anymore, and he's coming.
These guys are doing all they can do. Tremendous racing and tremendous respect.
Now, as a team, shouldn't they be running nose to tail right now and trying to run away from the rest of these guys?
The crew chief right now, after that last maneuver, they got on him and said, okay, look, guys, the 62's coming. Brendan Gaughan's coming. Don't do that anymore. Don't do side by side. Let's work together because he's fast. He's coming on you.
Yes, when they did that split, Brendan had already gotten by Bobby Hamilton, so he really gained a lot of momentum right there. Him having to split the crowd.
It looks good, but it's not particularly quick.
You see Brendan in the picture right there. Here he comes.
The Orleans Dodge making its way up into 3rd position, and he's trying to make it a 3-peat here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, Waterloo American Racing Wheels. Wonderful place to stay. And you go to Vegas, I like the Orleans. Great food, great playing. Let's go down to Ray.
Well, Barry, keep in mind this truck right here that Brendan is driving this weekend has been sitting on the side of the shop with a big cover over it. That's because it won here at Texas twice last year, and they haven't raced it since. They said there's no reason to mess up a good thing. We know that one's good at Texas. That's where we'll race it. And he is a second faster than the guys up front.
I won't take long, will it, Dorsey?
Now, oh, look at this big traffic in front of him.
These guys always name their trucks. You know what he named his?
What's that?
Lone Star.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Problems on the back stretch. We've got caution coming. And Rick Crawford, number 14, getting spun.
Oh, that's a shame. Rick Crawford brings out the caution. You can see damage to the front. Heavy damage to the front.
That's a big point slick right there, boys.
That's a bad point slick. You're not kidding. On the second point. Oh boy, I think he's knocked the rear end out of it too, Barry.
Yeah.
Turn 3.
Tremendous
See you all
run.
right? Hey, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Frustration there in the voice of Rick, and you
Here.
can't blame him. You know, we're right inside 30 laps to go, and he'd had a good run all night.
Now, guys, it looks to me like they can throw some tires on this and
All
get him
right,
back
guys,
out there
get
because
some
he's in a
tires
points
on this
race right
thing.
now.
Let's get a look at, see what we got. How big? It ain't hurt to tow, just put me some tires on it. Fix the flat.
Yeah, they're all flat.
Here we go down underneath Chad Chaffin. Yeah, and he just got loose on his own. He was underneath 18, took the wind off the side, and got loose all on his own. That's his, I reckon, his own cause, if you will.
That's worst scenario when you're there, when you're 3/4 of the way under the truck on the outside. The same
Look at
thing's
him.
true with the car. We had a little contact right there.
Well, he was real loose on the bottom. When he got into that 3/4 of the way up, it just broke free on him. You saw him fighting the wheel like crazy, and there's nowhere he could go. He just ran up the top of the racetrack. Chad actually gave him a lot of room. Chad Chaffin gave him a lot of room. Hey, Phil.
Yeah, down in Rick Crawford's pit, obviously a lot of damage. You see him trying to make clearance for the left front tire. Rick's going to go at least 1 lap down, if not 2 laps down. He was just trying so hard to get by Chad Chaffin. He had a very fast truck. He was 3 or 4 tenths faster than the leaders.
Tires on it, I could come back in.
When he went behind the 18 truck, it just slowed him down. He got that dreaded arrow push. So he's doing his best to try to get by the 18. Obviously, you guys saw what happened, got out of shape.
All right,
But going to be a tough point day for Rick Crawford, but he'll be back strong our next race.
That nose. Come on, pull it out.
You see the steam coming out there as well. Rick Crawford trying to work on that number 14 as we're under caution number 4 here in Texas.
He's still capable of running fast. Down to Ray. Down to Ray Dunlap.
Well, Barry, if you look up at the front of the field here, you will see that the 50 is driving around the 99. He just was on the last lap. And the reason was he wanted Carl Edwards to look at his right front tire. John Wood's radio is not working, so the guys here in the pits cannot hear anything that he's saying. So he went up to look at the 90. The 99 said, yeah, your tire is okay. Don't worry about it. Stay in your position there. Now, one other update. Bobby Hamilton gave up the 4th position on the racetrack to come in and get fuel while we were under caution there. Newt Moore said to him, because of this extended caution, there's no way we're going to make it to the end. Hamilton came in. He'll restart about 12 as we get ready to go back to racing.
16 to go. We're going green here, Rick.
Michael Dolan taking the pace truck back onto pit road. And the guy who sets the pace is the 99 of Carl Edwards.
Good start. You see Brendan trying to make a move to the right. You can't pass to the right. That was a brilliant idea. It just didn't pan out. As John Wood saw him coming, moved up to block him.
That was a smart thing, too. John Wood saw that run. Brendan trying to get a run on the top side. Couldn't do it. John blocked that. Now the 2 routes forward's up to the front.
Now, with 15 laps to go, guys, we had talked about how the Dodges might not have as good a fuel economy. Can Brendan Gaughan make it all the way?
Yeah, I think so, because I think Brendan's been back in. We had a caution at lap 127. That's actually when Bobby Hamilton should have come in, and he would not have paid the price he just paid.
Well, I tell you what, John Woods, yeah, I can feel what he's doing, man. He wants to get by. He wants to get by right now, and he's waiting for his crew chief to say, go, go. Won't be long from now either.
Yeah, that's going to get interesting.
You know, he's got Brendan Gaughan in his rearview mirror. That's a very uncomfortable situation.
There you see the ladies running together, Shauna Robinson and Tina Gordon. Shauna Robinson in the Aaron's Dream Team, number 49. Tina Gordon right behind them. In the Mecca Metal buildings, they picked up a new sponsor for the number 31 of Tina Gordon for this week.
Yeah, I think that's a regional company, but they're stationed here locally, and that's good to see something else on that truck. This girl's had a run bad luck.
Out in front, it is the 99 of Carl Edwards. And this could be a rookie's track if Carl Edwards is able to hold on. Again, Travis Kvapil won here when he was a rookie. Brendan Gaughan won here when he was a rookie. Brendan Gaughan dominated in this track a year ago, but now it's Carl Edwards that's out in front of the pack.
What a day it would be for Carl Edwards, or for John Wood for that matter, if they can just hold Brendan Gaughan back there. These guys racing unsponsored Jack Roush's truck. We're not going to have that.
Good lap, 0.6 tenths of a second back to third.
And actually, if neither of them end up winning this race, but end up 2 and 3, this is still a phenomenal day for Roush Racing.
It's very good. And you heard that was Doug Richard talking to Carl Edwards, telling him where he's at. He knows where
30,
he's at.
65, second place is 75.
He's got that mirror now, so when you flip it up, you focus on what's ahead of you.
Brendan Gaughan now taking the Dodge to the top side again. He's trying to work the highway. See what happened right there? John Wood blocked that effort.
Yep.
He saw him move up high, and he moved up to block it. That's good.
And Brendan's got to be careful and not to overdrive. You see a battle right here between David Starr and his Spears. Dennis Setzer, Axiom, Chad Chaffin, and the Dickies truck, number 18.
Well, they're out of laps to go. They've got 11 to go. They got to get with it now. Whatever you got to show your hand.
Chad Chaffin there in 5th position in the Dickies Dodge number 18, running very well. And again, there's the Bobby Hamilton Racing team running well. You've got Bobby Hamilton and Chad Chaffin running up right now in the top 5.
And here's Dennis Setzer. He's also had a very good night with Amos engine horsepower. A lot of power under that hood, I guarantee you.
We talk about David Starr. Love to win here at his home state, home track. Got a long way to go to catch those boys up front, though.
You notice we don't have any shit. We got Travis Quapple, the first Chevy. They run about 15, 20 laps. They get that push and slide the front tires.
Right now, Chevy's running nose to tail. Travis Quapple in the 16, Dennis Setzer in the 46. So they're currently in 4th and 5th position. Dennis Setzer there in the Axiom Chevrolet in 5th.
And being that they're both in Chevrolet, you'd think they'd want to help with each other. But with that tight, aero-tight situation, all they do is hurt each other. They can't get anything going.
Exactly.
Uh-oh, we got
We're
trouble
inside
here.
of 10 laps, and Brendan Gaughan has moved ahead of John Wood, and he's reeling in Carl Edwards.
Oh, with lap traffic right up in front, that's Rick Crawford.
We talked about how big it would be, Dorsey, for Carl Edwards or John Wood. How about the 3-peat? How big is that?
Oh, that's huge. I mean, it's only been done, I think, once before Jack Sprague did it.
Let's go down to Phil.
I was watching Doug Richard when the 62 of Brendan Gaughan got by the 50 of John Wood. You could see the dejection in his face. He really wanted that buffer of his teammate between him and Brendan Gaughan, but right now it's not there. Brendan Gaughan's running his bumper.
Brendan Gaughan now decides to go to the low side of the track. We've seen him run high all day. Carl Edwards has got to be aware of that he's probably going to try to pass him on the outside if he's not going to give him the low part of the track.
I just saw Carl Edwards get very aggressive in passing a lap truck right there. He chopped down and he tried to shake off Brendan Gaughan.
Just hold your line.
Keep him calm down now, crew chief. Keep him calm.
Well, you got 6 laps to go here. Now John's falling back a little bit, but when this becomes a side-by-side, if it does, John could certainly get back in the picture. And that's what we have developing right now off turn 2. Brendan can take the high line, but it kills the momentum. These Roush engines are running.
Now, right there, you just heard his spotter saying, looking high, looking high. Carl Edwards looked like he moved up the block and almost hit the wall.
Sure he did. He sliced up in front of him and cut that momentum, which is what he's going to have to do.
He's going high to get clean air. He can't pass this in dirty air.
That's smart to say right there. 5 laps to go now. Drive that mirror.
5 to go.
Here it comes.
Chop back up.
Brendan Gaughan on the outside. He's made the passes before. Will Carl Edwards let him by? I don't think he's going to have a lot to say about it.
I don't think he is either.
No choice
I'll tell
here.
you what, if he pulls this thing off, I mean, this kid knows how to celebrate.
He sure does.
It's just fun to be around, but this thing isn't over. Far from over.
Brendan Gaughan in the Orleans American Racing, number 62, out in front. And let me tell you what, he's won it 2 times last year. This will be a 3-peat, and what a celebration.
And that's after having 2 really disastrous pit stops, one of his own, and then he got blocked in. I mean, he had a really bad situation. He still come through this field like they're not out there.
That's a strong. I mean, this boy owns Texas right now.
Well, Lone Star has dominated here in the Lone Star State.
You know, now if you're Carl Edwards and John Wood, the crew chiefs just tell them right now, all right, boys, you got 4 to go. Just ride it out. Let's ride it out. Now you can't catch the 62. Let's not wreck our trucks.
Brendan Gaughan was actually in 16th place on lap 104.
You know what? Brendan is not, he's not heeding the caution at all. He's got an opportunity here to breathe it, maybe bring it home, and he is driving this thing as hard as it will turn a wheel.
He's got that adrenaline flow going. You're not going to stop him. You could stop him with a Mack truck. He's going.
He just went by to make the pass for the lead, and he's already put over a second between himself and second place John or Carl Edwards.
Yeah, Carl
John
Edwards
Wood back there.
Yeah, Dodge, Ford, Chevy right now.
There's only one truck on this racetrack all day, and that's Brendan Gaughan. Believe me that.
And we check out the speed differences between the 99. You see here of Carl Edwards, 171.52. And look at Brendan Gaughan, 174.87.
That's what I mean. It's so easily spotted up from up here where we are. I mean, he has not even started to be conservative.
Well, he is less than half a lap away from doing what only one other driver has been able to do before. Jack Sprague winning 3 consecutive races at the same track. Coming through turns 3 and 4, the Orleans Dodge of Brendan Gaughan will come out and see the checkered flag flying here at Texas.
Stay tuned for a major burnout. Pretty good race, guys, I'm telling you. Great run for the 99 and the 50.
Like I said, even though they finished 2nd and 3rd, they've still got to be very excited about what they were able to do here today.
Mark Martin took